Here is the passage with proper punctuation. This week, during a pretrial hearing, Donald Trump's former trade advisor, Peter Navarro, asked the judge to just go ahead and get rid of these contempt of Congress charges against me. Because, I didn't testify or turn over any of the documents that the January 6th committee requested because I had executive privilege. And Peter Navarro says, Donald Trump specifically told me on February 20th, 2022, that I had executive privilege. So, go ahead and toss these charges because I couldn't have testified even if I'd wanted to. And federal judge Amit said, no, I'm not going to do that because you've provided me no evidence that you actually had executive privilege. Now you have a letter from Donald Trump's lawyer Corcoran saying that sure, Trump, I guess, says you have executive privilege. You have a witness you say that thinks Trump may have given you executive privilege. But that's not really evidence, right? It's not actual proof that Donald Trump did the thing. Now I like Meta's ruling. And by the way, Peter Navarro is now set to start his trial on September 5th. This coming Tuesday. Here's the thing though, and this is really what Judge Me should have said. If Trump told you on February 20th, 2022, a year after he left office, that you had executive privilege, then you're an idiot. You see what Meta didn't say in the ruling, and this actually kind of drives me crazy, is the fact that there's only one person at any given time that is allowed to declare executive privilege. And that person happens to be the sitting president of the United States on February 20th, 2022. Donald Trump was not the president of the United States, so it doesn't matter if he tells you you have executive privilege because he doesn't have that authority. So your argument is total bullcrap. Like why? Why didn't the judge just say that? I agree with the judge's ruling. The judge is right. You've provided no evidence, but you needed to take it that extra step and be like, listen, I don't care if Trump told you that there's rainbows on the moon. That doesn't make it true. He didn't have the authority to exert executive privilege. You don't have the authority to try to invoke it to avoid testifying in front of the January 6th committee. And of course, now that that committee is no longer in existence, Navarro is not going to have to go and testify. He does not have time to change his mind. But he is under 2 charges for contempt of Congress. They're both misdemeanors, punishable each by up to 1 year in prison. So at the very maximum, if convicted, Navarro could be looking at 2 years in prison. It's doubtful that he is going to get that full sentence. Honestly, it's doubtful he's going to go to prison at all for contempt of Congress. But if his best argument for not complying with this is, hey, Trump said I had executive privilege, then I think the prosecution is going to have a pretty easy case when all they have to do is stand up and say he wasn't president when he told you that. So it has no legal bearing in this court. And maybe that's why Meta didn't say it. Maybe Meta's just waiting for the prosecution to make that argument and then send Navarro down the river. We'll find out, cause again, that trial is starting on Tuesday.